Welcome back to Outrage Science Bites. I'm David Beckmeyer, and this is day 24 of our 30-day challenge, continuing our focus on bridging our divides. Earlier in the series, on day 6 and day 12, we tackled a tough question. Can people with strong convictions have a productive, respectful conversation without feeling like they have to water down their views or meet in the middle? Do you have to become a moderate just to get along? It's a common question, and that's why today we're revisiting it for a third perspective. The question is, how do you create an environment that encourages constructive debate without requiring people to hold more moderate views? Answering that for us today is Calista Small, a research manager at More in Common. Her work on social cohesion gives her deep insight into how to design interactions that prioritize mutual understanding over political posturing. Here's Calista.
I really think that we should focus less on debating and more on listening, specifically high quality or deep listening. And so what I mean by that is deep listening goes beyond everyday conversational listening because it requires the cultivation of both a specific skill set and a mindset. So as a skill set, deep listening involves indicating to the speaker that you are paying close attention to what they are saying. You have open body language, you make eye contact, you paraphrase back to the speaker what you heard. And as a mindset, it involves cultivating an unjudgmental approach to the speaker. So you slow down your internal thoughts to devote attention to what the speaker is saying, and you really try to pay attention and listen to hear the speaker's underlying values. So some people might fear that listening to someone, specifically with opposing political views, might make the speaker think that they agree with them, which could lead to hesitation to engage, or it could lead to the impulse to debate. However, this assumption is mistaken. So deep listening isn't about showing agreement so much as respect, which is really critical for connection. And research has also shown that when people feel like they're really being listened to, they actually become less defensive and they become more open to change. So research shows that when you're really being deeply listened to, that can actually help moderate prejudiced thinking. So I really think that in your everyday life, you should maybe stop trying to debate people and start really trying to deeply listen to them. So therefore, it's not about moderating your views or changing who you are. It's just more about, again, cultivating that skill set and also treating other people with dignity and acknowledging their humanity by really listening to what they have to say.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we can feel like, we're somehow not being loyal to our tribe or whatever, even to just let the person have space to express their views.
Yes, absolutely. And that's why it's really important for leaders to model deep listening for others in their community, because it can become really hard if you're really trying to deeply listen to someone, especially around your peers, to not immediately jump into debate, right? Or to not immediately come up with a list of things in your head that you're going to ask to try to poke holes in what they're saying, etc. Because that's kind of our impulse, especially right now. And so it's really important for leaders to model deep listening. And also it is a skill that you need to practice, right? So it's something that we can all become better at. It's something that I have I have struggled with and I have improved on throughout my adult life. And I do really believe it is a very good solution to a lot of the interpersonal conflict that comes with living in such highly politicized times. And as someone who studies social connection, I think that deep listening is absolutely essential to maintaining and rebuilding social connection in the US.
Yeah, and talking about modeling it, what we mostly see is the opposite, right? I mean, all the famous influencers, if you will, are winning the debate all the time, and they get all this credit for winning the debate and beating up the other. You see this language, like they destroyed the other person and this kind of stuff. And so that's what we kind of think of as dialogue, right?
Mm-hmm. And that makes sense because if you think of debate as a game that you win or lose, and if you want your team to win, right? Because that's fun for you. Like, just with any other rivalry, you're like, yeah, we did it. When in fact, that's actually really unhealthy when it comes to like rebuilding the civic commons and engaging in community life, because we see people debating and we see people trying to win and we think, okay, I have to win every conversation too. And what happens is actually people just shut down. So even, for example, if you are debating somebody and you think you've won the debate, probably that person's going to walk away and actually double down on what they think, because no one likes being told that they're wrong and people get really defensive of their views. So I really just don't think debating is a solution. I really think it's deep listening.
That's all for today's episode of Outrage Science Bites. Stay curious, and until next time, I'm David Beckmeyer. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy these Outrage Science Bites episodes, you may enjoy the long-form Outrage Overload podcast at outrageoverload.net.